So I cleared a Kubernetes Security Specialist more than a year ago, and I was meaning to record this video and post it. Here it is. This is about how to pass the exam, or more like how not to fail the exam. Prerequisite is CKA. Some of you may already know if you have browsed the syllabus. You should clear the certified Kubernetes administrator before you can go for the security specialist. And application developer one is not required. It's not a prerequisite, and it's a bit easier than CKA. And my story is that I failed twice. Yes, I failed twice and passed the third time, and I'll give you the more details in a while. So here is the exam history, you can see, and I passed CKA first and CKAD then with higher scores in both. But CKS I failed once with 50, and second time I failed with 45, less than that, because my machine froze. I'll talk about that later. And reschedule is within 4-5 days, and they give you the schedule. So yeah, and finally, after practicing a lot, the next year I passed. So I just want to highlight the fact that among all the certifications I have completed, you can see here, the most tough one was the CKS. Even the AWS Machine Learning Specialty or AWS Certified Security Specialty wasn't this hard, because this is completely a practical examination. Even though I took many months twice for those two certifications, CKS was the hardest. So you just have to be prepared well. I'm just warning you here. So basically you are given 2 hours of time and 15 to 20 clusters. There will be 15 to 20 clusters required. I think I got 16 questions, 16 clusters. And I couldn't attempt to answer all the questions. In the first time I could do 13 or 14, but the second time I could only do less because my machine froze. So there is no time to learn in the exam. This is an execution exam, so not a reading exam. So do not think that you will be able to look in the docs and do it, because the time is so tight. So you should have practiced really well. And it is a lot harder than CKA. CKS is harder than the killer shell CKS, and don't underestimate the exam and rush to appear for it. Prepare well, practice well, and practice like a race car driver. Without thinking, you should be driving the track by memory. The same way you should be performing without thinking much in the exam. That means you should have practiced so well to be able to do that. And my failures, what they taught me is understanding is not muscle memory. You can understand the subject well, and if you're given enough time, you will be able to do. But that's not enough for CKS. They are really testing for the specialist. That means you should have a lot of experience and you should have practiced well. And Vim is too slow to respond, and I was not good in Vim. I couldn't do things fast in Vim. That was a problem. And I tried relying on the docs, and instead of relying on my memory, and internet issues were the problem also. And laptop screen scrolling was another issue. And I didn't reschedule when the exam environment froze or had problems. Another main reason was I booked all the exams as a bundle, and I waited till the last minute. I cleared CKA after, but then I waited till the last minute for CKS due to my workload, and I forgot that my timeline was approaching. And when I looked at the time, I had just 4 days, so I didn't have enough time to prepare for the second time before the exam. And second attempt was within few days or 4 days, so not 2 weeks as in the slide. And I didn't have enough time to clear. So remember that. Don't wait till the last minute. And environment hardware matters a lot. You should have an external monitor and external camera. So external monitor, if you are using laptop, is very important because small monitor screens is not enough. That means you will have to scroll a lot. Remote Linux VM does not show up entirely and it is slow to respond and scroll is slow. You will lose a lot of time scrolling alone. And have a reliable fast internet wired connection if possible. And clipboard is likely to be slow in VM, so it may not be as fast as your local copy paste. It takes time to respond when you copy and paste in VM, so it might affect your rhythm. So understand the speed, synchronize your rhythm with the copy paste speed with the VM, and then proceed. So browser and docs. Exam runs inside the VM. As I said, scrolling in VM is too slow. Since docs are slow to find, it's better to memorize the left navigation pan in the Kubernetes documentation. So if you see in the documentation, you have the navigation pan, memorize what is where and be able to reach fast. Or when you are using search, for example, audit policy, so you should remember which link to click. You should not be in the exam thinking about which link to click. If you have practiced well, it should not be a problem. So most important thing in the exam is ability to recall super fast. So there is no time to search and learn. There is no time to look into the docs for terminal commands. So practice well so that you can recall anything very fast and also recall very fast where a particular documentation is. So remember that you need to memorize the CKS doc structure. If you have practiced well enough times, that will happen automatically. So do not underestimate these ideas. And when it comes to terminal commands and Vim shortcuts, you should practice until everything is natural to you. And remember, the preparation method is very important. Your ability to recall depends on that. So use hand notes that helps you remember well, and then transfer them to digital notes so that you can look at them anytime, anywhere, like while traveling or while relaxing. If suddenly some concept comes to mind, you can go to the notes and check the notes. Draw a mind map diagram for every concept and overall syllabus as well. So looking at the diagram helps you recollect super fast and connect things fast. The information that's present for the whole exam, if you are able to connect them really well, you can remember them well. And preparation method, use the mind map of all the whole syllabus. Learn from 2 or more courses. It's very important. And the most important thing, how you prepare matters a lot. In order to be able to recall the content fast, you should have the mind maps and notes and practice well. And the courses that you take are also important. So I took more than 2 courses. I took 3 courses in fact. One course I practiced well, the others is like refreshing. So here are the courses. So before we go to the courses, remember that you need to remember the CKS syllabus by memory. So go through the CKS syllabus, and as you are taking the courses, create a mind map of the syllabus. That will help you connect all the areas and remember well. The more connections you make among the areas, the easier you can recollect. It's like how the LLMs learn. And the courses I took are here. So basically, I took Munammad's course, Code Cloud. It was available in their website. CKA and CKAD was available in Udemy, but CKS was only in their website. It was worth. After having taken that course, I took two other courses in 2x speed. This Killer Shell, the course by Killer Shell, and another course I took in 1.5x and 2x speed, just to refresh certain areas. And the second course, you see, it covered areas which was not covered in Code Cloud. In terms of mastering the subject, it really helps taking the several courses into XSpeed. So if you go into the first course from Killer Shell, you will see that complete index is given. You can jump to any area. So take multiple courses and practice everything 5 times or more, or until you are able to do the work without having to think a lot. And revision matters, so use the flashcards to revise a lot. Have notes in mobiles and refer it when you are free or traveling. Practice until you can pass the practice exams without having to think. And when it comes to the courses and practice exams, I showed you the courses and these are the practice exams. So Killer Coda, this is a practice environment. They give you various different environment to practice. Either you can set up local full Kubernetes environment, or you can set up micro-K8s, K3s or Minikube environment. Or if you are pressed for time, you can use the Killer Coda environment. It's really good. The thing is, they provide you the environment, for example, for AppArmor for you to practice. But if you want to know everything about AppArmor, then you may want to do it in your local environment with either of this or full Kubernetes deployment. So trying to do it yourself in your local deployment really helps. But for the first time, you may want to use Killer Coda environment or the environment provided by this course. And when it comes to practice exams, the course here actually has the practice exams. So after the Code Cloud, you can take the Killer Shell exam. This is provided free of cost by Linux Foundation after you book the exam. So once you have learned, practiced in other places, you can come here and they provide simulator for all the exams. You might have taken for CKA. So go to CKS, you are given 2 attempts. And when I say 2 attempts, is the exams that you take, each attempt are scored and timed. But then until the simulator expires, which is probably 36 hours, you can take as many times is allowed in a particular simulator. So out of these 2 simulators, 2 attempts, each one lasts for 36 hours. You can take the exam multiple times, but you are only scored once for the first time, which is fine. After having taken the exam, you can come back to this exam results anytime and review the questions and answers and also the exam tips, which I will be talking about at later time. So this really helps being able to access this anywhere and refer to the questions and answers was really helpful for me. So follow the mastery approach recommended by Jeff Bezos and learn the entire subject, practice the entire subject. Do not focus on just one area because you don't know what the questions are likely to be. It's better to be good at everything for both for the exam and being good in the job. So you need to practice like a F1 car driver doing a latent learning where they memorize the track and practice. This way you know everything by memory. You are not thinking to perform any steps. And test during exam, you back up the config. Anything before you are going to modify is very, very important. In case you mess up, you can restore it and double check the backup that it exists before you move forward. And if you can, you answer fast and move forward. And if you are not able to answer a question, perform certain actions, and it's not working well, it's better to skip the question and come back later so that you don't waste time or get stressed up trying to debug into a hole. And when it comes to being able to perform the faster and recollect fast and perform faster, how good you are in all these Linux and terminal commands matters. So all the commands shown in courses you are taking, be really good in them. So all the Linux command line tools here and word count, WC, and which is not listed here, and all the terminal commands, and also being good in Tmux shortcuts help, but Tmux is not a must. And when it comes to Killer Shell, basically what they do is they give you the exam results. So if you go to Killer Shell, when you take the exam, they give you 2 practice exams, as I said, and after the practice exam, they give you the entire result so that you can review it whenever you want. So if you go to the end of the practice exam, so they are giving you the tips. You can search for the tips, and here are the tips, and they give you the tips about various things, including how to set up the Vim environment. These are very important. Tab stop, expand tabs into spaces. YAML files don't work well with tabs. And I lost a lot of time in the second attempt trying to see why my YAML file was invalid. So do these 3 things, very important. And then you have the pod deletion command. You should use the grace period 0 force, otherwise it will make you wait and you will lose time because of that. So go through the exam results from Killer Shell and it gives you tips. An environment is used. Exam environment can freeze or lag, so be aware of it. And I didn't know that I could request a new session if there was huge issues in VM being slow. You can do that. I have read in Reddit that some people had these issues and rescheduled their exams. And final thoughts, do not underestimate this exam. It's a lot harder than CKA, and also you need to understand that it's a lot harder than Killer Shell. Give it a few months to practice well. Repetition of practice matters more than theory, understanding it. And you practice like you are going for a F1 race car racing. Mind map diagrams and flashcards are really important, and train under time pressure and take the Killer Shell exam and ensure that you have plenty of free time after completing the exam in the given duration, that is 2 hours or 90 minutes, I don't remember. For the Killer Shell, the exam is 2 hours. And get to the point, you don't have to think before you type. And final thoughts, remember, these exams are mental games. Some of you are taking, like me, to challenge yourself. That means you need to learn to relax well during the exam in order to be able to perform well. The more relaxed you are, the better you will perform. Read the question, understand, and then start to work. Do not try to start to work having half read the question. And exam pressure cooks people. That means your adrenaline will spike. So learn to slow down when that is happening. Observe yourself and breathe deeply. When you're getting stressed and debugging into a question, simply skipping the question helps, and taking a deep breath and moving on helps. And then you can come back to them when you have free time. If not, that's fine, because you only need to score 67% to pass the exam. And this is really a tough exam, so remember that. And expect weird things to happen. Expect weird things to happen, and if you expect that, you will learn to relax. If you don't expect going to the exam with full confidence, it's possible that your confidence is broken, you are stressed, and you are not able to answer the question. And stay aware of the remaining time on regular basis. So if you do follow all of this, you will pass the exam with flying colors. Wish you all the best. you will be able to do it.